back to Lergle Stories. My name's Logan, and I'm glad you're here. Today is rather special. We're going to be reading two books, because they're both quite short, so we've got enough time to read two. But they're both in purple books. So if your favourite colour is purple, today's your lucky day. Big thanks, as always, to Austin Macauley Publishers for letting us read both of these books for you today. Remember to subscribe to Lergle Stories. And if you'd like to buy a copy of one of these books, or both, there'll be a link to in the description down below, so you can go off to the website and buy your own copy. This first book is called Neville the Imagination Wizard by Tanya Latter. Meet Neville. He is very special and has some very cool powers. Meet Jack. Neville is Jack's imagination wizard. Sometimes Neville gets bored during the day and he begins to say, "Smiggle, smuggle, snuggle, do. I'm going to send you to a fairy's house in a meadow to sip tea with a frog called Mr. Mondu." That sounds fun. Snorkel, norkel, dumpling dong. I'm going to send you to an underwater city with a monkey called Kong. Giggle, gaggle, waggle, wonk. I'm going to send you on a rocket ship deep into space with a dinosaur called Donk. But sometimes Neville's words would get muddled, and that made Jack's dreams run into trouble. Jack had a nightmare. He sat up and cried and called for comfort from those nearby. Jack held on tight as they whispered, "Those dreams are not real, so don't despair. Roll over and we will tuck you in. Sleep without a care." Jack went back to sleep, snug and tight, in his bed, knowing that sometimes Neville's rhymes don't go quite right. His dreams are pretend, so off he goes back to sleep to see where the next one goes. So that's why we sometimes have bad dreams. We must all have an imagination wizard whose words got all muddled up, and instead of having a nice dream, we had a bad one. But it's okay, because we always wake up afterwards and we know that it's not real. So, the next book, and I'm really looking forward to reading this one because I found it really funny. It's called Wes the Windy Walrus, and it's by Charlie and Matt Glass. So two people wrote this book. Here we go. Wes the Windy Walrus had a big problem. He couldn't stop the noises that came out of his bum. He'd snuggle down, drop his head, and slowly shut his eyes. But his bubbly botty burps would take him by surprise. He liked to eat and yawn and sleep so loved his peace and quiet. But to get a noiseless bot, he'd have to change his diet. His walrus friends were healthy and ate clams and worms and fish. But Wes was not, as he preferred a different kind of dish. He'd gorge on donuts, pizza, crisps along with all the dips. The only time that he'd eat fish was if it came with chips. For dessert, he'd treat himself to ice cream, sweets, and jelly. But his sleep would soon be cut short by rumblings from his belly. Snoozing in the water, he knew he was in trouble. When looking back, all he could see was bubble after bubble. So grudgingly, Wes got rid of the chocolate and the pies, the sausages and burgers, and the nachos served with fries. He joined fellow walruses for food that was nutritious and found that fish and worms and clams were actually delicious. And for the first time, he could doze without the trumps that filled his nose, without the rumbles and the bubbles that had caused his sleeping troubles. Wes's windy walrus days are in the past, he says. Now Wes the windy walrus is simply known as Wes. Well, he had such a noisy bottom because he ate all of those different kinds of food. It's okay to eat that food sometimes, just as long as you don't eat too much, or you'll get a very windy bottom, and people might start calling you Windy Wes. Make sure you have plenty of healthy food too. That way it's okay to have the treat now and again, like chocolate and sweets. I love chocolate and sweets, but I love vegetables too. So yummy. Have a good day. See you next time.